Social media kills and you died. Today we're going to talk about the effect that social media has had on the world and how it affects you specifically and society at large. Now you're watching this video on a phone, and on this phone you have many other sources of media, right? Many lights, different colors, vibrant, beautiful, stunning, gripping, attention grabbing, right? And that's what social media has turned into, a fight for your attention, right? Without even getting into the reasons why social media is being pushed so much, or why it's become popular, or why there's so much funding behind it. Let's talk about how it affects your life specifically. Right now, I mentioned in a previous video that one only has 24 hours in a day. You only have 24 hours in a day. Whether you like it or not, that's all you're working with. And regardless of what you want to do, what you want to be like, how you want to live your life, how much fun you want to have, at the end of the day, the fact is there are only 24 hours, right? Now, media, within that thought process, right? Within that line of thinking, media plays a significant role because media takes up the majority of your time. And yes, I'm looking at you, bro. I'm looking at you because there's a high chance that 90% of the people who watch this video fall into the category of spending majority of their day on social media, which is sad. That is just insane. I don't mean to sound or come off like someone who's against novelty or new things or technology. That's far from the truth. My point is, it is very unhealthy how much time we spend on social media. Social media kills. I'm going to dive into that. Now, when you spend the majority of your day staring at a screen, a box, what does that imply? First of all, that implies two major things. Number one, you're spending the majority of your day looking at a screen. That's stupid. Number two, you're not doing nearly as much as you could do, and you're not achieving nearly as much as you could. You're not becoming as good of a person as you could. How do I know that? Let me tell you exactly how I know that. If you spend the majority of your days on social media, then what does that mean? Think about it. Think about it. Because you might argue, well, there's so much value and there's so much information. I've learned so much and it's made me a better person. Okay, I'll give it to you. That doesn't have to be not true. But at the same time, if you recurringly spend all your days on social media for the majority of the time, then what does that say? All the things you've learned, when do you ever get the time to implement those things? If all you do is spend your time scrolling on social media, think about it. I want you to think about the opportunity cost of doing that and how detrimental it is to your well-being, your progress, right? The people around you, and your mood. And we'll dive into all those things. And I want you to reflect on it and think. And this is not, I'm sure you've seen countless videos talking about the fact that, oh, social media is bad, social media detox, do this, do that, do that. That's all good. Go try those things, right? Try what you need to try. But right now, the point of this video is to open your eyes, specifically for yourself, without the necessity for being cliche or repeating terms that have been used 1,000 times. Just think about the effect that being on social media for the majority of the day and how it affects your life, right? Because you might say, I've learned so much and I've made so much progress, and without social media, I wouldn't have experienced this or gotten to know that. But yet you still spend the majority of your time scrolling. That's paradoxical. And that is the common rebuttal I hear whenever I talk to different people about their social media usage, or whenever I confront myself about my social media usage. The first thing that pops into my head is, oh, there's so much value. Yeah? Okay, so when do you get the time to use that value if all you do is get new value, right? Get more value. You know damn well you're wasting your time. You know that. No one needs to tell you that. So I'm not even here to tell you that, oh, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your life. That's true. But you already know that. You don't need me to tell you that. You know that, right? You can try to hide from that. You can try to mask it. You can try to step away from it. You could try to not look at the fact that you are wasting half of your life literally by spending 12 hours a day on social media. You can ignore that. You don't need me to tell you that, right? But just think for a second, man. Think for a second. Most children nowadays between the ages of 4 and 14 spend an insane amount of time on social media. right? They're being raised by social media. If you spend more than half your day on social media, you aren't being raised by anyone. Your parents are playing less and less of a role in your life, right? And we're not even going to talk about parents nowadays, right? We're not even going to talk about that. We're talking about how social media affects you. And if you have a brain, regardless of what age you are, you might be 11, you might be 12, you might be 13, you might be 14, you might be 15, 16, all the way up to 85. Listen, if you have a brain and you have a conscience, please, I beg of you, pay attention to the things that you allow into your eyes, the things you allow to make an impact on your mind, and the things you implement in your life. Because whether we like it or not, our personality and our person are formed by things we spend a lot of time on, whether you like it or not. So if you're spending the majority of your day on social media consuming unhealthy content, you can be damn sure that's going to show up in your life, right? You can be sure it's going to show up in your life, whether you like it or not. Do this experiment for me. Pay attention to the things you say from now on. Pay attention to what you do. And every time you experience or do something that's a little off, where it makes you wonder, think about it and think about the origin of that thing, right? Think about the different thought patterns you have, the ways of speaking, the different vocabulary you've developed. Maybe you curse a lot. Maybe your jokes have become extremely negative and have gone in very bad directions, so to speak. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. You can pick up those things that, it's like an addition to your character. Those additions, try to trace the roots of those things and see where they're sprung from, so to speak. See where they came up from. Because I guarantee you, most people's character nowadays is formed on social media. The personality most people have now developed has not come from their immediate surroundings, which is scary, which is why you have so much turmoil in families, which is why people can hardly get along, because people are no longer being influenced by their immediate surroundings. And of course, there are pluses to that. Duh. I'm not saying that that's inherently bad. There are pluses to that. But I'm saying when it takes up half your personality, when half of who you are right now has been influenced by a screen, that's a problem. And who knows? I might just be outdated. I'm 18, but I might just be outdated. But I think that's something we should think about. We should be concerned about. Spend more time with the people around you. You can grow closer to them. You can learn to love them more, right? And you can learn to integrate new ideas properly into your immediate surroundings. And maybe your best friends won't be on a freaking screen. Maybe your best friends won't be on a freaking screen, bro. Right? Social media kills passion. Let's talk about how much of our great ideas are wasted by looking at the next thing, scrolling at the next thing, seeking the next fix, right? That is what social media provides. It's a binge product, right? It is made to captivate you. It is made to capture your attention and hold it hostage, right? Your mind is the most powerful thing you have access to. The most powerful thing you have access to. You have to understand that that is true. Listen. If you can tap into the faculties of your mind and become creative and develop tools and strategies, you can literally change the world. But if you spend half your time on social media, you will never get the chance to do that. I promise you. And of course, there are nuances to this. People have jobs on social media where they have to spend majority of their time on social media. I'm not talking about nuanced situations. I'm talking about the stereotype. The situations that have now taken over society, where majority of young people have gotten their influence from a screen, have become influenced by a screen, right? The relationships you have online are not real relationships, right? It's a replica, a fake replica. And pixels have become so refined that it tricks your brain into thinking, oh, wow, I spend 12 hours a day watching this one person. We're friends. We're best friends. Your brain literally doesn't know the difference. But I tell you what, when you interact with a real person, in real life, you'll tell the difference. The awkwardness with which you speak in real life, you'll tell the difference. The unhealthy ways in which people treat you when you interact with them in real life will tell you that you are spending your time incorrectly. And back to passions, right? A lot of the creativity that young people are supposed to have, a lot of the energy that we're supposed to have, is being wasted on social media. And there are many different ways you can waste your energy on social media. You know what I'm talking about, right? Take back that power. You can't be giving that power to pixels, bro. Especially for the men out there. That should dehumanize you. You should feel like a freaking wimp knowing how you're spending your time. This is not good for you. And you are capable of far more than you can understand right now. But the first step in understanding your capacity and your capabilities is by stepping away from social media, stepping into here. Step into your mind. Look at the real world, right? Look at the real world. This is real life. You can't get away from it, no matter how hard you try. Try to embrace it. Don't let social media kill your future. Don't let it kill your creativity. Don't let it kill your spark. Don't let it kill your spunk. Don't let it kill your love. Focus up. Focus on the real world. This is real. This is Corbin Conversations. Thank you for watching. Seek on. Seek on.